The New York Rangers lose in overtime to the Detroit Red Wings by a score of 3-2. And we're 13 games in, and this team looks nothing like it did last season. And they're dropping points that they should easily be getting. This was a Red Wing team that just beat the Islanders yesterday, who's been playing pretty well. But the Rangers had a great start, great first period. They're up 2-0. And then in the second period, it all goes to shit. This team changes within a game. There is no consistency with this team. I just don't like how they're playing. Nothing has really been spectacular. What is this team good at? I mean, we know that they're not a physical team at all. Like they're more of a finesse team, and if they're not willing to go to the dirty areas, then they're going to be in trouble. Um, and there was a lot of line juggling going on. Give credit to Yaroslav Halak, who has struggled, so far this season in the games that he has played. He's the only reason why the Rangers got a point out of this game. This is not something, this reminds me of a lot of other games that we've seen this season. The San Jose Sharks one comes to mind. This is a game where you should be getting 2 points. But really, maybe we shouldn't be saying that word anymore with this team. They're acting as if you know, we'll just we'll turn it on at some point. It doesn't work like that. The reason why the Rangers were so successful last year in the playoffs is because of the great work they did in the regular season as well. And like I said, it's early in the season, but this could get away from them pretty quickly. And like I said, I blame can go around. They really can. I mean, Gerard Gallant, like I don't understand. So Chris Kreider gets demoted to the fourth line. But then in overtime, for some reason, he's back out there with Zibanejad. Why the insistence on that? Like, I know he scored the breakaway overtime winner against the Flyers, but come on, Capo Caco has been one of the Rangers' best players this season. He scored a goal in this game. Maybe give him a chance. So there was complete line juggling going on. Zach Jones played one shift in the third period. He is not NHL ready. Um, he's just not. And as much as I don't like Libor Hayek, yeah, you better believe that Hayek is probably ahead of Zach Jones in the pecking order right now. Not by much, but he probably is. Not that that Hayek Schneider pair was anything great either. They paired Keandre Miller with Fox. Now keep in mind, this is because Ryan Lindgren is out, and that's like I said, a very important injury. No Lindgren, but it's no excuse. And Philip Hedl did return today. I'm happy that he's back, but it's going to take him some time, and it's too bad because he got off to a really good start. But we can like go through each individual player. I don't really want to, but I mean, it's more bad than good. Alexis Lafreniere, it's not been a good start to the season for him. And look, do I want him on the left wing? I do, but it doesn't mean that you should be performing like this on the right side. But I think that's the right thing to do. I think even if it means demoting Kreider, Lafreniere, you probably should put him on the left wing. And if you wind up playing with Hedel, that's fine too. Um, but again, for Chris Kreider, this is the Kreider that I'm accustomed to. One that is extremely inconsistent, invisible at times, just contributes absolutely nothing. And you kind of saw that today. Uh, you know, and it's funny, Ryan Reeves was a healthy scratch. That's the direction I would have went in, and it didn't even matter. There's a lot of just no-show performances. Sammy Blay, I mean, you're really getting just about nothing from him. He did draw a penalty in this game, but it's been bad. Um, yeah, I mean, the Zibanejad line, as it was, had a terrible change on the second Detroit goal. Just, I don't know what they were thinking about. They left Jones and Trouba out to dry, and that's another one, Jacob Trouba. Maybe naming him captain wasn't necessarily the best idea. Do I think that that's the reason why things are where they're at? No, but really, we want to name Jacob Trouba the captain. Everything was fine with the A's. There was no issue there. I mean, they felt like they needed to force that for Jacob Trouba. Not really. Didn't really agree with it then, and I certainly don't agree with it now. So, I think Adam Fox has been, although maybe a little bit of spotty coverage on that overtime goal. I think Fox has been pretty good, all's considered. But just I don't feel all that confident in this team. I think they're more than capable of turning it around. But look, I mean, with Gerard Gallant, he's very good in the first year, and then after that, we've seen regression. Where Vegas, of course, had that amazing 2018 run. And then look, 2019 they made the playoffs, and there was some controversy there as well. I mean, Vegas did kind of get fucked over against the Sharks, but still, it wasn't quite the same team as 2018. And this Ranger team is not the 2022 Rangers. It's just not. It's really not as good. The work ethic isn't as good. And so, 6-4-3, you've really technically lost more games than you've won. And the Rangers at home have really been nothing special whatsoever. And that was something that last year they were very good at Madison Square Garden. There is no home ice advantage now. So yeah, you're getting some of these points, and if they won, the tone would have. Let's say they somehow won an overtime or shootout. I guess the tone would be different. But if we're being fair about things, like they deserve to lose this game. They truly did. Halak stole them a point that they didn't deserve to get. So first period starts out actually really well. So that's what doesn't make sense about this team is it was a pretty well played first. Julien Gauthier draws a penalty, and Gauthier, his play has tailed off, but you know, the problem with him is the coaching staff just will never trust him. He doesn't have any two-way game. But look, I still think that compared to others, like you may as well have him in there because he can draw penalties if nothing else with the speed. But that happens, and Rangers are unsuccessful on the first power play, and then Jacob Trouba takes a holding penalty. Just Trouba, he's just not been very good, as far as I see it. It's been a bad start to the season for Jacob Trouba, and I don't know how much better it'll get. Rangers do kill off that penalty, and then the Rangers take the lead, and it's a goal by Kaapo Kakko, his third goal of the season from Kreider and Trouba at 9:14. So the Rangers up 1-0, and for Kakko, I like what I've seen from him, and I'm glad that the points are starting to come with it. Hopefully he stays healthy. He deserves to really be one of the players that gets top ice time. Really does, because he looks like someone who, like, he has something to prove. Really, all of them do, but it's like that's why I almost feel like I think Kakko. I don't think it was deserved, but he was a healthy scratch at the end of last season. That was a motivating factor in his getting ready for the season. It just had to be. So I kind of want to see that same accountability for other people. Look, I mean, Chris Kreider's moved to the fourth line, but where will he start next game? Like, let's not just so quickly move him back to Zibanejad's line. Speaking of Zibanejad, there is a penalty to Ben Sherratt. He interferes with Sammy Blais, and Zibanejad scores a power play goal. Nice setup. It's Zibanejad's seventh goal of the season from Panarin and Fox, with a little more than 3 minutes left in the first period. Gives the Rangers a 2-0 lead. Filipino would take a penalty. He hooks David Perron, but the Rangers are able to kill that off. So the PK gets it done in that instance. And, but Halak was really starting to turn his game on as the Red Wings are starting to play better. And they carry that into the second period. And they score early. It's a goal by Matt Luff. His first goal of the season from Sherratt and Sider. And so 3 minutes in to the second, it's now a 2-1 hockey game. And this was a goal where it was a deflection by Luff on the shot by Sherratt. I believe the forwards on were Goodrow, Blais, and Carpenter. And there was a turnover in the neutral zone, and the Red Wings score. And they make it 2-1. And then, to make matters worse, the Red Wings would tie it up. Pius Suter scores his third goal of the season from Hronik and Larkin. 8:37 in the second period. So, and this was where just a terrible change by the second line. All three of them, Kakko, Kreider, Zibanejad, they get off when the Red Wings are basically have a 3-on-2, and Jones and Trouba, not that you love that pair to begin with, but they're back there, and Suter scores. Nothing a lot could do about it. That's a bad job right there. That can't happen. So it's tied up at 2. Adam Fox would then take an interference penalty on as he interferes with Ben Sherratt. The Rangers kill that off, and it was just a bad second period. This is what we've seen from the Rangers, where they will have just absolutely awful periods, and they won't turn it around. Like, they just can't find it. Third period, this is where the line juggling comes in. Kreider moved down. He was playing with Carpenter and Gauthier. They moved Panarin up with Zibanejad and Kakko. Um, Trocheck was with um, maybe Goodrow, I think was with Trocheck. Lafreniere was on the left wing with Hedel. I know that. Actually, I think Blay was with Trocheck. It was, I don't know what we're going to see next game, but yeah, none of it worked all that well. It was a better third period than the second. It was, but still, we remained tied going into overtime. And in overtime, Keandre, and this is, again, why is Kreider starting at that overtime? It doesn't make sense. And I know, I said it before, I know he scored last game, but like you demoted him. Like, why are you now rewarding him? And the same thing, I mean, as far as Zibanejad taking the faceoff, what are we doing there exactly? I mean, not that, I mean, Zibanejad had a terrible day on faceoffs. I just, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But Keandre Miller does take a penalty. He holds the stick of David Perron at 144. And, a bad turnover by Keandre Miller. Keandre Miller has not been that. You would have figured that he would have taken a major step up. It's been a bad start for Keandre Miller. And so now Red Wings have a power play. It's 4-on-3, and they score. They win the game. It was easy. Kubalik, his sixth goal of the season from Perron and Seider. Great pass by Perron. Right through the six of Trouba and Fox. Just an easy goal for Kubalik once it got to him. And the Red Wings win it 3-2 in overtime. I should also mention Andrew Kopp returns to MSG. Wasn't involved in the scoring or anything, but, Kopp is now on a Red Wing team that's been pretty good. Better than the Rangers, I'd say. So now the Rangers, they dropped to 6-4-3. They really got to start winning, and now they face the Islanders, who have given the Rangers problems. And the Islanders, they play Calgary the night before. So it probably won't matter, but the Rangers, you got to take advantage of that. The Islanders kind of did it against the Rangers when the Rangers played the Avalanche, and then the next night they played the Islanders. We spoke about that, not as an excuse, but just as, a talking point. And it didn't matter that Detroit played the Islanders the day before in this case, but hopefully the Rangers can somehow take advantage of that. But that's a big game because, like I said, especially at MSG, the Rangers have a hard time against the Islanders. I'm not very optimistic about that game, but I think they better be ready to go. They really better be because, things won't get a whole lot easier beyond that. So, like I said, this is a very big game for the Rangers. They play the Red Wings again in Detroit after that, and then they go to Nashville. And the Preds, it's been a rough go for them this season as well. But look, I think that this Islander game is an important one for both teams. And if you kind of come out sleepwalking in that one, I don't know what to say. But 13 games in, plenty of time to go, but really not happy with the way that this team is playing. I've said this for a while now. This is nothing like last year's team. You got to just forget about that completely. They need to because they're acting as if, nothing is owed to them. They really, really need to turn it around. And in some ways, they're kind of lucky to even have, the record they have is almost fortunate. So we'll see. Gerard Gallant needs to push those right buttons because, things can change very quickly. You could be loved one year and hated the next. And you can kind of tell the Ranger fans are not thrilled with Gallant. There's more issues than just him, but this really needs to turn around. We'll see if it can happen at MSG against the Islanders.